Is it rude to send multiple texts without waiting for a response? Well, the answer is twofold. So let's put one thing on the side, all right? So the first part, which is if you're in the middle of an emergency, if you are in a situation you can't help it, yes, it may be appropriate to send a lot of information during an emergency. However, on our day-to-day life, it is rude. Now, if you're going to send a string of messages, it is important that you indicate to others to expect this. So for example, hey, I have several ideas that I want to pass by before I forget, and then you list a whole bunch of texts. On the other hand, if you just are used to it, a lot of people today are used to just texting and texting and texting. What will end up happening is that texting has graduated, if I was to say, to a point that to some people it's the same as verbal communication. So I want you to picture this. You're communicating with someone and they're not giving you a break. They're just talking and continuing, and it's a two-way, right? Just continue to talk, continue to talk. How will that be? That would be rude, right? So in the same way, this is what I will say. If you text, if the texts are more than 2, you must deduce. If it's more than 3, you must quit. All right? So give others a break, take a breather. All right, next question. Question number 2. How do I handle someone who constantly checks their phone during a conversation? It's a good one. Well, there's a direct and indirect method, right? For example, you can tell people, hey, I totally get it. You're busy. Can I wait for you to finish answering that call or that text before we continue? The one thing that you have to realize is psychologically, all of us have become attached to this gadget right here called the phone. And so we always want to pick it up. We always want to pick it up. That's why when I lecture in classes, I normally tell students, hey, put the phone in your pocket or put it in a bag, because the moment you leave it somewhere, you'll have the itch to pick it up, right? So it's important for you to tell the other person ahead of time, right? Hey, this is making the conversation difficult for me. So yeah, feel free to tell the person, right? The more direct, the better. At least it gets that thing out of the way. All right, next question. Question number 3. What is the best way to handle phones or phone use during meetings or social gatherings? All right, the way I handle it during meetings, as I said, if I'm in a group and I'm teaching a group or I'm teaching a course, what I'll tell the students is I would list it at the very beginning of the meeting, all right? It's very hard to get people to follow an order that you impose in the middle of a process than at the beginning. So at the very beginning, you have to tell the participants in this meeting, hey, let's silence our phones and put our phones away for the duration of this meeting. Okay, so that's one way in which I handle the situation of phones in groups. Okay, now one thing that I always do to make people not feel like prisoners, because I understand people are attached to this. I tell people, hey, if you know you're going to expect an emergency call, you're going to get an emergency text. If there's a reason to why you really need a phone, then please feel free to stand up without distracting everybody or disrupting everybody. Pick up your phone, go outside or go to another room and deal with it, all right? And so that puts this framework where there is a room that is designated, a place where you can go and enjoy, but this is a cell phone free zone.